Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. It's Friday, the weekend is upon us. How is everyone doing this morning? I hope you are all doing well. Welcome to Good Morning with Reganelite here. A bit of a local election special. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to drag this to an hour. So we may end up just going back to look at some other news possibly as well. So I just want to put that reference out there for those who have just turned up. But welcome everyone. Hope you are all doing well. We are going to go through some of the usual stuff before we go straight into them because results are still coming in. Obviously, there is the big story. For those who don't know, we will get into. I will sink my teeth into it. Just have a little bit of patience. We will come to that and some of the other results that are coming in as well. But good morning, Aki's Mad, Alistair Keir, Stephen Banker. Good to see you all there. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you all slept well. It is the 2nd of May. So you know what that means, guys. What is today's quote? For those who want to find out the daily quote every day on follow me across my social medias and you'll find them dropping on Twitter, Blue Sky, Threads, Instagram. You can always find them across my social medias whenever I'm not doing a Good Morning show outside of YouTube. But today's one is: life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. That quote is by Solon Kierkegaard. I don't know if I said that name right, but that is today's quote. That is today's quote, if you can see it there. Tomorrow's quote is... You'll have to follow me on my social medias to find out tomorrow's quote, because I'm not going to be able to share that with you guys because I'm not doing a Good Morning show. Sorry. That is your quote for today. Matt Parker, good to see you there. Hope you're doing well. What is today's weather report like, guys? So here in London, it is 17 degrees. It is beaming sunshine. It is beaming sunshine out there. I definitely was, went as high as 26 degrees. I could feel it at times when I went out. You could feel it on the outside. Sometimes when I feel it gets too hot, I think it's actually better to keep the windows and the curtains shut rather than letting the air in. So it says here 17 degrees at the moment here at roughly 8 a.m. here in London, but it's expected to rise as high as 25 degrees according to the app around 2 to 3 p.m. here. Sunny is expected throughout most of the day, but in the afternoon it's saying it's going to start getting cloudy apparently. But that's from 2 o'clock onwards is what the weather is reporting here. So at the moment 17 degrees. So that is the weather here. If you want to let me know what the weather's like where you guys are you getting nice sunshine? Are you getting rain? Is it warm where you are? Let me know down in the comments on that. Before we talk about the elections, because like I said, there's a lot of as it said, it's going to be coming in as we go along, guys. I really do feel that it is so important to cast your vote and have your voice and have your say about things that really matter to you. Having that voice can really make a difference. But the reality is that there is, like I've said, I did say, but to take the results and take polling with a pinch of salt, and just to wait to see what they are. Because it doesn't always give the correct or gives the right readings. Unfortunately, they're not looking good. Is what I will say on them in terms of polling. But your voice really does matter when it comes to elections. A lot of people do feel disenfranchised, disconnected from politics. You see, myself and you guys all here, we're all very much in the keen and into the know of politics, or we want to know about politics, talk about politics, what's happening in the news, things that could affect us, affect our... Oh, please no more. I don't want any bees. Please go away, bees. Sorry, I'm going to have to close it quite a bit. But the last thing I want is a bee coming in while I'm doing this. I hate... Nothing against bees, they just cause quite a buzz around me. Sorry. Losing my train of thought. It's... one of the things that I always try to do in my channel is try to put myself in the shoes of other people, to try to understand why do people vote a certain way, why do people think a certain way, why do people feel a certain way, and the aspects. And this is what it is with Reform UK. And I've said that Reform UK knows how to appeal to people. They will say whatever they need to say to people to win them over. And that because they're an anomaly, because they've never had power, they've never tasted power, people will buy into it. And yes, Nigel Farage is a big pull factor for them. But I don't just think it's just Nigel Farage. If Nigel Farage can uplift people all around, Nigel Farage can uplift and uplift other people around them, around the party, it's not just about Nigel Farage anymore. It becomes about the whole the party as a whole. It's a little bit different with. I don't know if it's a little bit different with UKIP because it never really hit the heights that it did, and people were still in the mindsets of a two-party system. We still had that the two-party system was still in the mindsets of a lot of people. Now, the last general election, let's be absolutely clear. While many people held their tongue and bit their tongue and voted Labour, with the sole intention and one reason of ensuring that the Conservatives were kicked to the curb. People in England, Wales, and even Scotland cast their votes towards Labour with the intention of changing a shift in pattern of the future, because they felt that things were just going to get worse. That things and they were, guys. That things would be far, far worse if the Conservatives were still in power. Let me be absolutely clear about that. I'm absolutely understandable and egregious with you guys, and rightfully so, about the Labour government. However, I have to keep reminding people, one of the worst comments I ever heard was somebody saying that things would not be this bad under the Conservatives, and which is the most bollocks that I've ever heard. Because you only need to look at the last 14 years of history of what has happened from 2010 to where we are now, from everything from our policing, our schools, our education, housing, communities, up and down, crime, that there is just so much you need to go out and look at from there to where we are now. And that's under the government's watch. That's under a Conservative government's watch. And let's not forget that 5 years between 2010 and 2015 is also under Liberal Democrats that people tend to forget as well. They're a Liberal party as well. People forget the term Liberal as well. People should not cast their votes for the Lib Dems so easily, even though they sound very positive on the front. Like I said, I've mentioned it before. I've mentioned it again. Do check out Helena No Justice's video on why you should not vote for the Liberal Democrats. They're a party that chose to make sacrifices to get power. They got in bed with the Conservatives. That tells you a lot about them and what they're willing to do. And in no way, shape, or form should Labour ever get into bed with the Lib Dems, even if it means holding on to power. Good morning, Martin Harrow, Leapskin. I hope you are doing well, and anybody else lurking in the chats there. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to be able to stretch this to an hour, so I'm not so. Shall we just go straight into it, guys? Okay, give me 1 second. I have not drank my honey and lemon, but yeah. So the woman that told everyone to go F themselves has won the by-election. Hold on, let me make sure I get it up for you guys. 1 second.
And I do hereby...
Oh. It would help, Regan, if you put your headphones plugged in. This is professional, guys. This is professional.
And I do hereby declare that Sarah Joanne Pochin is duly elected as a Member of Parliament for the Runcorn and Helsby constituency.
Okay, we've won by 6 votes. 6 votes. Sarah Pochin is the new MP.
Okay, I'd now like to ask the successful candidate just to say a few words.
So this is Sarah Pochin, who's won by just 6 votes. 6 votes.
Thank you, everybody. It's been a very long night, but we've got here. Firstly, I would also like to add my thanks to the returning officer and the team from the Halton Borough Council and the Cheshire West and Cheshire Borough Council for the efficient and professional way that this election has been conducted. My thanks go to Cheshire Police for ensuring that this has been a safe campaign for the candidates. And I would like to pay tribute to all the candidates for the way that we have all conducted ourselves through what has been a very intense and highly pressurised few weeks. I would like to thank my election agent, Jason Moorcroft, for being by my side throughout the whole election, and we'll continue to work together going forward. I've had a team of very talented, dedicated, and professional individuals behind me every step of the way. And I would like to thank them all from the bottom of my heart. Firstly, to our great leader, Nigel Farage, who has so inspired me to stand up for this country. To our party chairman, Sir Youssef, who has given me invaluable support and counsel throughout this campaign. And to the exceptional team led by John Burns, my campaign manager. You are all such very impressive individuals. It's been a privilege to work with you, and I'm so proud to be part of that team. And finally, my thanks go to all the volunteers who have diligently canvassed and delivered leaflets, been on the polling stations. I was going to say today, but I think it was yesterday. We couldn't have done it without you. The people of Runcorn and Helsby have spoken. Enough is enough. Enough Tory failure, enough Labour lies. And I want to thank every one of you who were brave enough to put a cross against my name on the ballot paper.
Even though she told everyone to F off. Let's remember that.
Every one of you who voted for change. Every one of you who have put their faith in me as your next Member of Parliament for this constituency, which has such potential, and who have put their faith in Nigel Farage as the next Prime Minister of this great country. It will be an honour and a privilege to serve this community, a community of hard-working people who just want fairness. Going forward, I will do my very best for all of you in Runcorn and Helsby and Frodsham. I think it should have been included in the name, regardless of how you voted. And I will be accessible to you all.
No, you will not. You will not be accessible to her in any way, shape or form.
I am in politics to serve. I'm in politics because I care. And I'm in politics to be a voice for those who need representation. I will serve you. I will care for you. And I will speak for you. I know our victory here in Runcorn and Helsby will inspire the rest of the country to believe that they too can stand up for fairness, for what is right, and for our British values, and their voices can be heard. We have made history here tonight in Runcorn and Helsby. Now, together, let's build a better future. Thank you.
Nika. 6 votes! 6 votes, guys! 6 votes! That's how much of a difference it could have been. 6 bloody votes. Can you absolutely believe this? It's just... 6 votes, guys! That's how tight it was. 6 votes. Unbelievable. It shows. But even tactical voting is still not enough. Even tactical voting. So, Let me just refresh this 1 second. Let me refresh this. This is still, it's all still updating here, guys. So, and I will try to update us as we go along. I was trying to find the best outlook. If you have a better website for me to use for this stuff, please feel free to let me know, guys. I'll have a look. The BBC's one was not very ideal. I do prefer the BBC, but normally I prefer the BBC when we cover general or local elections. But theirs was not very good in my opinion. So here's from the Guardian's one here. Latest result: Northumberland NOC as before. Reform Greater Lincolnshire Mayor. Reform win. Labour hold Doncaster Mayor. Labour hold West of England Mayor, and Labour hold North Tyneside Mayor so far. Labour have held on to 3 mayorals, while Reform has won its 5th MP in the Runcorn and Hesby by-election with a razor-thin victory. The majority of the council results are expected later on today. This is how it went, the parliamentary by-election. Look at that. Literally, by 6 bloody votes. Lib Dems, why did you have to vote? Why did you have to stand a candidate? You should have stood aside, Lib Dems. But one thing we also have to remind ourselves, always, is that not everyone turns out for these local elections. There's always a low turnout for these local elections. That's really, really important. Thank you for the first of Super Chats that goes towards supporting the Democratic Penguins Republic, Alistair Keir. Good to see you, my friend. 46% voter turnout Reganelite, and 4 votes in first count, 6 in the second one. Thank you for that, much appreciated. It's a low turnout. Take this positive. I took a sitting Labour MP. It took a sitting Labour MP to beat somebody up for Reform for it to win by 6 votes. Not an impressive win. It's scraped in. But even when they tried tactical voting, it didn't work. They've tried because I remember Phil Morehouse was constantly banging on about the tactical voting for local election. I'm like, is this really going to work? I was really hoping the polls would be wrong. I really was. But you've got someone who is going to be walking into Westminster, sticking the middle finger up to everyone now. And nothing is going to change in Runcorn and Hesby in Runcorn. Nothing is going to change there. Nothing is going to change for those people. But this also emphasises, once again, guys, about how much people are fed up of the 2-tier party system. The Conservatives, they're fed up with them. And Labour have not done... some of the policies that Labour have made have really stung people. Really, really stung people. And that's, the WASPy women, the winter fuel payments, the refusal to remove the 2-child benefit cap, just among some of the other bad policies. And a lot of these policies were political consequences. They came with political consequences. And if they just not done some of these, they would have won this. They would have held on to this. They really would have made the marginal difference. But they have chosen to show this. And you can argue, and people can argue all they want about some of the good policies they have done. And don't get me wrong, Labour are doing some good policies. There are good policies that the Labour government are doing. But the bad ones, especially about people on disability and taking away their entitlements, that really hurts. That really, really hurts. And Reform can say whatever the hell they want about it, because it doesn't matter to them, because all that matters to them is about getting in power. So I don't want to shine too much. Predicting Conservative Reform coalition, Stephen Banker. I do think that's coming. Stephen Banker. So yeah, 38.72% of the vote share Reform got. 38.70% Labour got there. 7.17% of the vote share the Conservatives got. The Greens got 7.09%. For an area that they're not familiar with, that's still very good for the Greens. Not far off from nipping. I would have loved it if the Greens had nabbed 3rd place, but I knew they weren't going to win it, but it's still a pretty good, much better than the Liberal Democrats as well there. Good morning, Billy Kershaw. Hope you're doing well. So here are the elected mayors so far. There were 6 mayoral elections. These are the only ones that I've got at the moment as of right now, guys. So Labour hold Doncaster. Ross Jones of the Labour held on to his seat with 23,805 votes. That's 32.6% of the votes there. But even so, you can see the influence that reform is having on everyone. Even though they didn't win it, they are gaining. And this should be worrying people. You should be worried about this. Good morning, Diz. Hope you are doing well. We should all be very concerned about this. 23,107 votes went to the Reform's Alexander Jones there. 31.7% of the vote share for Doncaster. They're gaining influence. They're gaining ground. They're not stopping the Reform tide. Conservatives Nick Fletcher, 18,982 there, only 26%. And then the rest just drops off like a cliff there with the Greens with only 2,400. And then the rest of the parties there. Workers' Party of Britain even still there as well. And there, Andrea Jenkins, the new mayor for Greater Lincolnshire, 104,000 votes, 42%. Conservative Rob Wallman. This is the new mayor of Greater Lincolnshire. Andrea Jenkins. Rob Waldsman, 64,585, 26.1% of the vote share. This is a new. You have to remember, this is the new mayor. It's not like taking over from another one. This is the new mayor, guys. And 104,000 people have elected Andrea Jenkins to be their mayor. Okay, let's see what she does. Because here's the thing, and the thing is that this is what's going to happen, right? Let me just read out the rest of the numbers, and I'm going to tell you what's going to happen with Andrea Jenkins over the next several years, okay? Labour's Jason Stockwood, only 30,384 with 12.3%. Independent, Maureen Olivan, got 19,911. That's still very good for an independent candidate. That's very good. 19,000. That's very, very good. Greens, Sally Hoskoff, 15,000 there with 6.1%. And Lib Dems Trevor Young with 13,000 there. Now, what's going to happen now that Andrea Jenkins is the mayor of Greater Lincolnshire? So there's a couple of things that will happen. So she will now have powers to make changes. As a mayor, she will have some special powers as the mayor of Greater Lincolnshire. She will have the power to make change for the better for people in Lincolnshire. What's really going to happen is that she's not actually going to make things better. What she's going to do is blame the Westminster for holding back things that she wants to get done as the new mayor of Greater Lincolnshire. Whenever she tries to get things done, or if she tries to show that she's going to try to show that she's going to get things done, or she's going to perceive that she's trying to do things, right? Every time something is not being done, every time there's something bad or something goes wrong or whatever, she will consistently point to Westminster and saying, they're holding me back, they're letting me down, X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. Basically, this is what you're going to hear consistently from Andrea Jenkins. Yeah, rather than her getting on with her job, she's going to be consistently pointing and blaming the Westminster government, saying that they're not giving her enough powers or they're holding her back. That's what you're going to be hearing for between now and the next general election from her. You're going to consistently hear from Andrea Jenkins consistently blaming Labour for all the things that she has the power to do, because she does have powers to do things, but she will consistently blame Labour for them because, if we had a reform government, I'd get these X, Y, and Z done. This is what you're going to hear from Andrea Jenkins. So instead of reform voters who have voted for her, thinking that things are going to get better now that they have a reform mayor, things are going to get worse for them. And instead of actually blaming their new mayor, they're going to be told, no, it's not me, It's not me, guys. It's that evil Labour Westminster government that are holding us back. We need to get them out. That's what's going to happen. And people are going to fall for it. And the problem is because Labour have shown their colours since becoming power for quite a while, people are going to buy into it. That is the sad reality, guys. That is the sad reality. Oh, let me take you to this screen instead. There we go. That's better. Man, that's better for you guys. Karen Clark held on. Held on. That was actually again, guys. Again, the reform factor. Yeah, very worrying here. Good morning, Roger Devine, Jeannie Bottle, and anybody else lurking in the chats. North Tyneside, Labour held, but again, the reform influence is coming through. Karen Clark there with 16,230 votes, with 30.2% of the vote share. Reforms, let me just adjust my screen. John, I can't say his surname, Falkenston. I hope I said that right. If I didn't, I apologise. 15,786 votes. 29.4% of the vote share. Look at these. Look at these. This is Doncaster and North Tyneside. Both of them. Like, look how close those numbers are. Those margins are. People are turning on Labour. If Keir Starmer is not waking up, he needs to wake up. He should be worried. He should be very, very worried. 29.4% of the vote share he got. Conservatives Liam Bones, 11,017 votes, 20.5% of the vote share, and it drops off a cliff after that with Greens, Lib Dems, and Independents there. The turnout was 33.6%. The turnout for Greater Lincolnshire was 29.9% there. And for Doncaster, the turnout was 32.1% of the vote share there. This one must have just come up in the past 5-10 minutes or so. West of England, Labour hold. Helen Godwin with 51,197 of the vote, 25% of the vote share. Labour hold on to this one. Reforms, Aaron Banks, second again. Reform one. Okay, it's not as close as the other ones, but still, it is still a 6,000 vote gap. And Reform can close that gap. 22.1% of the vote share went to Reform. Greens there, Mary Page, is definitely not out of the running in the future. 41,094% of the vote share. 20%. That's interesting there. Conservative Steve Smith with 34,092 votes, with 16.6% of the vote share. This is very contested, hotly contested one there. Lib Dems Ollie Handerman with 28,711 with 14% of the vote share, and then an independent there. This is a very hotly contested based on the votes there. Very mixed. This here is a very mixed one here for West of England, but Labour have held on to it. Very mixed one there. Interesting. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier, Roger. The average person isn't bothered about politics. They want the end result, not the means of getting there. Yeah. Now, I mentioned that a lot of people aren't turning out to local elections because they're very disenfranchised with it. Is this the councillor change so far? The large number in bold represent... Actually, let me refresh it. The large number in bold represents the change in the councillors in this election. A smaller number shows the total council seats won. So, -7 Conservatives, -10 for Labour, -1 for Lib Dems. No change in Greens currently. +23 for Reform. So Reform have actually won councils. And -3 for others. That's in the independents there. This is still yet to update council control change because there's still many to be. Like I said, it's going to go throughout the day. So probably by the time Max goes live tonight at Friday, he should have a better screenshot of what the picture will be. Just how the election works. Many councils in England are for elections areas where 2 tiers of local government. The county councils are the upper tier with responsibility for big budget areas such as education and social care. Some utility authorities are also up for election. In addition, there are elections for mayors and combined authorities, including some new authorities, 2 directly single authority mayors. NOC, this is one council they've got here as before. Northumberland brackets, council rewards and boundary changes there. 60 plus 23 gain for Reform, and -7 for Conservative, -10 for Labour there. So that is from the Conservative. I will there. I wanted to show. I'm not going to play that video again because new people have missed it. I'm not going to play that video because some people have only just turned up. The one of Andrea Jenkins is the Rumicon by-election. I'm not showing that video already. If you missed it, you missed it. Sorry, guys. You have to roll back and watch it. Professor John Curtis says Reform currently 10 points. This was at 7:24, guys, but I did want to get John Curtis's feels here from the live feed. I will have a look at the update in a moment. And first past the post is now help. Professor John Curtis says Reform currently 10 points ahead of the Tories in council results, and first past the post is now helping them come first. The leading election expert told the BBC the results of so far suggest Reform UK has made significant breakthroughs in English politics. He said they are currently 10 points ahead of the Tories in council results, and crucially, that's the first past the post electoral system was helping them, not hindering them. Speaking to the Today programme, he said, the big question that we were looking at to these local elections together with the parliamentary by-election to answer is the message of the opinion polls that Reform seems to pose a significant threat to the traditional dominance of the Conservatives and Labour in our electoral politics? Is that the message of the polls correct? And it already seems to be clear that the answer to that question is yes. Winning the by-election in and of itself was a substantial success for Reform, and narrow as it was, UKIP never ever managed to win a parliamentary by-election afresh from when it was fighting. And so that extends is we have now broken the new ground in terms of parliamentary by-elections. But what is happening underneath the by-elections is that, in a sense, the reality notable. Yes, Reform narrowly missed out on those three mayoral elections, Doncaster, West of England and North Tyneside. Curtis was speaking before the Greater Lincolnshire result was declared. But we've got 124 wards that have been declared. Basically, across 4 councils, Reform are clearly ahead on 38% of the votes. The Conservatives with 28% and Labour with 18%. Now, these are very heavy in pro-Leave, traditionally Tory areas, so they are not necessarily representative. But even so, what were once parts of true blue England are now more looking like true Tories England. Curtis has also said that the first past the post-electoral system was working for Reform, not against it. It is also the case again, quite remarkably, Reform, who of course found it very difficult to break through the electoral system last summer, now actually have won more councillors as a result as of this morning than any other party. And I think the crucial point is that while at 15% the electoral system could work against them, at the level of support now, it could work in their favour. So what could potentially happen? Reform were in favour of the change to the electoral system. But based off what John Curtis is saying here, he is someone obviously who is an expert in this field. What we could start to see is Reform of not wanting to change the electoral system at all. Let's go to the latest update. Tories reject claim that Reform are now the main opposition to Labour, but admitting winning back trust will take a long time. Kemi has to go, guys. Kemi has to go. Good morning, MadMark33. Hope you're doing well. We do have the community. We need to communicate to the public and are doing, and we understand why we lost trust and faith in us. You guys, you guys are not sorry for what you've done for the last 14 bloody years. You've not changed at all. Nothing has changed. Like, I literally covered on Wednesday night their campaign video in the run-up to the local election. There was nothing in that campaign video that gave people a reason to vote Conservative. What reason did they have? All they kept saying was, Labour bad, Labour bad, Labour bad, Labour bad. Yeah, but what are you going to do? Like, legitimately, why should people vote for Conservatives? Why are people voting Conservatives? What are they offering? Kemi's not offering you anything. Why should you waste your vote on the Conservative Party? Generally, they don't get it. They don't get it. They are clueless. They are absolutely clueless to Conservatives. They don't get it because they're not sorry, because they're not offering alternatives. Why should people vote Conservative? And Reform are an outside anomaly. why should people cast their votes to Conservatives? Generally, please tell me why they should cast votes for the Conservatives. It's going to take us a long time to build back that trust and confidence. Kemi has said it's a marathon, not a sprint. Why should people vote for them? Generally, why should people vote for them? Reform UK is on track to take control of Lincolnshire County Council. This was 25 minutes ago. After winning 19 of the first 25 seats to be declared, with Labour on 3, Liberal Democrats on 2 and Conservatives on 1, PA Media reports. The party needs another 17 seats from the 45 still to be declared to gain a majority on the council, which was previously run by the Conservatives with 54 seats. The full results from the council will not be known until later this afternoon, as counting has not yet started many of the seats. Like I said, do check out this evening. I'm pretty confident Max Robespierre is going to do a live stream tonight. He will have a breakdown a bit more of the of it a bit more there, and I'm sure probably Graham Hughes will have a bit of a breakdown tonight as well. We'll have a breakdown in the Politics Social as well later on tonight. He is doing Morning Brew at 9 o'clock, so if you want to at 9 o'clock, so if you want to continue on to looking on the feeds of this, do check out Graham Hughes and Politics Social at 9 a.m. I'm only going till 9 a.m. as longest here, guys, just for people coming in who aren't usually here for the morning shows. Thank you for the £5 super chat, Alistair Kiev. Much appreciated. Of course, it's Reform's votes keeps building, and they will stick to it. First past the post voting. Yeah, you're not going to. But the thing is, they're going to switch gears now. They're going to switch gears, and they're going to stick to the first past the post system. And we need proportional representation to keep them out, because that's what it would do. Proportional representation would actually keep them out of power. But that's actually, and we'd keep their power control. But what's going to happen is they will have more control once that, like, it's not impossible to say, like, I know it sounds daft, but we should not rule out a possibility of Reform gaining a huge amount of seats at the general election. I won't go as far as to say that they will win the general election, but they'll gain quite a lot. I think we're gonna have a breakdown, says Julie Brown. I think Dave McGuinness will probably have a breakdown. I think Graham Hughes will have a breakdown. I think a lot of people are going to have a breakdown. But the polls were saying this. Like, I didn't want to believe the polls. The polls were saying this, guys. Let's see. Anything else? Runcorn shows why Labour needs to stop offering more of the same. Left-wing groups Momentum and Compass says. Yep. The Runcorn by-election shows what can happen to a Labour government that takes its core vote base for granted to lose a safe seat so early in this parliamentary term. Whilst the far right makes advances across the country, we should raise alarm bells for the party. Well, taking away payments from people with disabilities, that's not exactly a very good headline for a government, isn't it? While refusing to tax the rich and ask the wealthiest in society to pay a little bit more. No, we're gonna make life hell for people on benefits and entitlements. Like, why should people cast their votes for them? Despite Reform scraping it by the skin of its teeth, Labour are squandering their general election victory. People in Runcorn voted for changing instead. Labour are giving them more of the same. It's paving the way for Reform. Labour need to understand that if people want Reform policies, then they will vote for Reform. And if they can close that gap this much in 11 months, imagine what it might be in 5 years. What should terrify Labour strategists in Runcorn is that the Greens vote went up 617. Even though the Green voters knew this might let Reform in, Labour is simply not progressive enough to win tactical voting. This was irritable. Said to be, yeah, the Greens. Where's the Green? Green. I'm not looking at it. There we go. 7.9% of the vote share, 0.66%. Plus up. And regardless, I'm still going to, I don't care. I'm in my area is a Labour stronghold, but the Greens are slowly gaining traction here in my area where I am. It's a Labour stronghold, but I'm still going to keep voting Green. And I don't think Reform I think Reform were 4th or 5th. I don't think they have that much influence in the area where I am. But if it ends up putting a reform, like, I'm not going to, like, this is my personal preference. Okay, I want to put this out there. I didn't get to vote in these local elections. I just want to stress that. But I really want to put this out there before I come to the super chat, guys. Yeah, I am not going to vote Labour to keep reform out. If I had the choice, I'm going to vote Green because I do not want to give them my vote. And when you hear someone like Phil Morehouse saying you're spoiling your vote, no, the party that you're backing and you're supporting, which you've always supported, is letting me down. Why should I lend them my vote? Why should I lend them my vote when they think it's perfectly okay to keep the 2-child benefit cap? Why should I lend them my vote when they made changes to the winter fuel allowance? Why should I lend them my vote when they're not making people's lives better, when they're not showing it? Where they're choosing as a political choice to make life difficult for people on entitlements, people on disabilities. It's what is wrong with people? Are they turkeys voting for Christmas? The Reform Company is a fascist group, says Magmont33. Thank you for the £5 super chat. The problem is, I've said this before about what people need to understand about Reform UK, guys. You really need to understand this, right? Reform appeals to people. Reform appeals to people because they have a big social media group behind them. You have some people who are voting who have nothing, who don't know. There are some people in the local elections who vote who know nothing about politics, who don't know anything about politics, right? But are voting for Reform because of Nigel Farage. There will be people who aren't in the weeds of politics and will vote for Reform because they like Nigel Farage, they like how he comes across, the campaign videos and whatnot. Like, you have to also understand that people outside the political bubble aren't paying as much attention. They don't know how nasty and bad that Reform can be for for Britain. They don't know that. Yeah, unless they are shown that on a consistent basis, which, by the way, not everybody spends their time on Twitter, on Facebook, on social media, constantly looking at the same stories over and over again. You have to understand that not everybody is paying attention. We're paying attention. We're paying attention to what's happening. But a lot of people are not. And if Labour generally cared, I really hope that these results are acting as a wake-up call for, let me just refresh, are acting as a wake-up call for them. Nigel Farage says Reform UK is on course to take control of Lincolnshire and Staffordshire County Council from Tories. We're supplanted the Conservative Party now as the main opposition party to the Labour government. I think the message that we're getting into many places that we didn't quite win, was that if you vote Conservative, you actually get Labour, and we've been bitten very hard into the Labour heartland. The seat of Runcorn has been one of Labour's safest seats in the country, and a bit of margin to maybe narrow, but it's spectacular. It's a spectacular by-election win. But we're also interestingly, if you look at the Conservatives, that was Lincolnshire, Conservative Staffordshire, those areas where the Conservatives had nearly 90% of the council seats. And we're going to take control of both of those councils, so it's a really big night. Farage is right to say his party's on course to win Lincolnshire, which we already established. Here's what he had to say about Staffordshire. Staffordshire County Council has been under Conservative control since 2009. It's perfectly capable of giving lopsided results, as we can see from the 2021 election. 57 Conservatives against 4 Labour councillors and 1 independent. But this doesn't mean Labour are entirely out of this or Reform UK if they can capitalise on their current support. So yeah, that's Nigel Farage's voices on that as well. I just wanted to share this one here. Keir Starmer told to start listening after Reform makes sweeping local election gains. There, so. Where is it? Who's actually saying this? Keir Starmer's been warned to start listing by a veteran Labour mayor after she fended off a challenge by Reform UK on a night when Nigel Farage's party made sweeping electoral gains. The right-wing populist party won the Great and Lincolnshire multiple ways. Jenkins, yep, we know about that. Reform was also ahead in the Humber, in the Hull and East Yorkshire mayoralties, where the former Olympic boxer Luke Campbell had polled strongly. Jenkins lashed out at her rivals in a victory speech in which she claimed that she had been the target of soul-destroying dirty tricks. Oh, by the way, she's also said, she said in a separate clip, by the way, let me see if I've got the clip actually. She said that those who are, see if I can find it for you guys. Give me 1 second. She basically said asylum seekers and migrants are going to be living in tents now under her watch. Let me see if I can find the tweet. 1 second. I'm pretty sure I had it. I had it for you guys. I mean, while I'm doing that. Yeah, just a reminder, hit the like button, share across social media, subscribe if you haven't to already, guys. Be greatly appreciated. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. I've already heard it, but I'll play it just for you guys' reference here. Here she is saying tents should be good enough for asylum seekers in Britain.
I say no to putting people in hotels. Tents are good enough for France. They should be good enough for here in Britain. But I take my hat off to our great leader, Nigel.
Yeah. Tents, guys. Tents. Yeah. Not good at all. Let me see. Just have a look and see what else let me try another outlet for you guys here and see if we've got. Let's have a look at what Sky News are saying, because I said I was going to start running out of things. I knew I was going to drag things on for a bit. Chat again, you're more than welcome to live in Scotland, where we're a left-leaning country that looks after its people, says Alistair Keir. Yeah, me and my missus, we may do in the future. Maybe. She's vile. Yeah, she is vile indeed. There, Phil has given up his Labour membership. Yeah, but he's given it up and putting it back in before. Phil, he like some of the recent like them supporting the court ruling and whatnot. Like he's trying to be cautious in his say there. Farage's toast as a by-election selects party win by gas knob. Are we really going to listen to him? Yeah, I think we are going to have to, guys. Sorry. Need to hear this. 1 second.
Why do you think you've done so well and Labour's vote, as you say, has collapsed?
Loss of confidence in the Labour Party. No one knows what the Prime Minister really stands for. A sense that somehow in this very patriotic constituency, the Labour Party doesn't really stand for those values anymore. To Sir Keir, well, just keep going. You're making life easy.
What about a pact with the Tories, as Robert Jenrick wants, and in fact Lord Houchin as well, to keep Labour out next time?
Yeah, I bet they do. One very clear message that comes from the west of England, where Aaron Banks came a very close second, from North Tyneside, from the contest in Doncaster, the mayoral contest in Doncaster. Very clear message tonight. In much of this country, if you vote Conservative, you will get Labour. And what tonight does is it embeds us. We now are the opposition party in the United Kingdom to the Labour Party, and the Tories, frankly, are a waste of space. Look, this Robert Jenrick idea that somehow we're going to merge. I only do deals with people if I shake their hands, look them in the eye and trust them. After what the Conservatives did after 2019, I don't trust them. They are toast. You're witnessing the end of a party that's been around since 1832. It's disappearing.
They're not offering alternatives. I've already said my piece on the Conservatives, but they knew what they were getting themselves into. No, we're not watching that again. We are definitely not watching that. They knew exactly what was going to come of this. It's just absolutely ridiculous. They knew what was coming for them. I'm just trying to see if I can get some more videos for you guys. Just bear with me. Is that the same video? 1 second.
Sarah.
Yep, it's the same video. Where's the Lincolnshire? Has anyone got a video of the Lincolnshire one? I know we've got 10 minutes left. I just want to see if there's one of Lincolnshire. Oh, here we go. John Curtis speaks. Oh, good. We'll take that. I'll definitely hear from him. Let's hear what John Curtis on this.
There are local elections on.
Oh no, that's 2 days ago. That's no good. That's 2 days ago. I would have liked to have heard from him now. There. It looks like I'm running out. Looks like I'm running out of content for you guys here. 1 second, guys. Let's see if I can find. Let's see. I don't think there's anything more really I can add to all of this, can I? Let me refresh. Is there anything worth looking at on Twitter? Is there anything on Twitter worth looking at? Not really. No, that's before the election. That was before it. That's old school. Yeah, looks like yeah, looks like I think I've run out of content for you guys, so it looks like I'm going to be wrapping up a bit earlier than planned here. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Like I said, I did say I wasn't sure if I could stretch this to an hour. If I thought I could, guys. But well, I am gonna leave it there because I don't really have anything else to add apart from just refreshing it to see how it goes there. But I'll just share my final thoughts and let you know, guys, know what the plan is on the channel. I'm very disappointed with the results. I'm very disappointed that so many people decided to tune out to vote for Reform UK. Many people have the shared belief that they feel that Reform is the best party to take the country forward, to take the UK forward. That is the general belief that people have. I don't agree with that. I think it's wrong. I think the party are lying to you. I don't think they're going to make people's lives better. There's a lot of young people out there who are literally casting their votes for Reform because they just can, and they're just turned off by everything else that's happening. I think it's a terrible shame. The good news, and it is a good news, is that there are significant gains in a few places by the Green Party. They are getting an increase in vote share in some parts of the areas. Obviously, I won't be live streaming tonight, so I won't be able to talk about this again until Tuesday. Probably Tuesday morning will be the next time I'll be able to talk about this again. Or I might try between now and Tuesday do a follow-up video, maybe if I get a time to do a follow-up video on this as well. That's the one positive I would say, that the Greens have gained traction in some places. Many people have cast their votes, and I said I've always encouraged people to vote for Green. Yes, even if it means putting in Reform because of tactical voting and whatnot. No, we should not lend our votes to Labour just to keep Reform out, because all you're doing is, in my opinion, delaying the inevitable. Because if you can't win over the hearts and minds for your policies and for your policies yourself, Labour, you don't deserve those votes. If this whole tactical voting thing, you can only it feels like to me the tactical voting now. I'm starting to have this belief that all this tactical voting is literally just delaying the inevitable. That more people are just going to end up voting for Reform further down the line, that they're lending their votes to another party even though they don't want to vote for that party. But again, reinforces another thing, and that is proportional representation that we need. We need proportional representation because the electoral system is not fair. It's not fair in any way, shape or form, guys. So Graham Hughes of Politics Social will be going live just at 9 o'clock in just about 6 minutes' time. If anybody wants to go and watch him cover more of this, I'm sure he'll be covering that extensively on this channel. I'll let you guys run down the live streams that are going on today. So Graham Hughes, like I said, will be going live in about 6 minutes. At 10:30, there will be the paper review by Dave McGuinness, youtube.com/the2 Davies. Do check out the paper review with him. He does really great coverage of the headlines from the morning. So do check him out at 10:30. At 1 p.m. this afternoon, Graham Hughes and Phil Morehouse will be hosting The Agenda on Politics Social YouTube channel. It's still worth checking out. It's an interesting insight from the two on there. And then if all of this is a bit down, it's a bit gloomy, maybe you guys are feeling a bit low-key, and you're not sure how to pick yourselves up, well, luckily for you guys, it is Friday, and every Friday at 5 p.m. there is a live stream from Daily Blase called Friday Frolics, which is a lot of fun, a lot of banter. Definitely will get you laughing and giggling over lots of stuff. I do check out youtube.com/Daily Blase to check out his live stream at 5 p.m. Definitely great fun stuff there to really bring yourselves up. And then, like I said, if he's live streaming, which I hope he is, at 8:30 tonight, Max Robespierre will have his own live stream. He will definitely be covering some of the by-election there. And Graham Hughes will probably have another live stream later on in the evening on Politics Social, called a bit more of a relaxing one there. So there's lots of obviously there'll probably be Helena from No Justice will probably have a live stream there. We'll have a live stream at some point as well as one or two other great YouTubers out there. So do check out some of them. Some of those YouTubers. I do have like a links to a bunch of YouTubers in the description down below as well that's worth checking out as well. So thank you for those who left super chats. Alistair Keir, Mad Monk, thank you very much for your super chats today. Much appreciated, guys. Thank you all for coming along. Thank you guys for all your comments. Enjoy the rest of your days, whatever you guys are doing. Don't get cooped up in the house all day. There is good weather. It's only going to get, the weekend it's going to actually get worse here. So do try and enjoy the weather out there as well. But I'm done for now. But I will be back. My next live stream will not be until Tuesday morning. There will be no live stream on Monday, guys. I want to stress that. No Monday morning live stream and no Monday evening live stream, because I will be spending time with friends and family over the extended weekend. I won't be back till late on Monday evening, so I will not have time to do a live stream for you guys there. But I will have a live stream for you guys on Tuesday morning. I may talk a bit about the local elections then. So do join me for that one there, guys. You can always check out on the home tab on my front page of when the next scheduled live streams are as well, guys. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you catch you all very, very soon.